Welcome everyone to German Tool Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at these Irwin-branded pliers that are actually a rebranded NWS model made in Germany. This item is a part of a line of pliers that Irwin rebrands from NWS. I picked these up off Amazon, and exactly how you see it here is how I got it. This is the only German tool I can recall that had one of these electronic article surveillance tags. This particular one is known as an acoustomagnetic tag that are designed to set off alarms if it doesn't get disabled by a magnet at the register. I have a really strong suspicion that this was not packaged in Germany. Alright, so let's crack this thing open. As noted on the pliers, these are rated for cutting aluminum conductor steel reinforced cable, better known as ACSR. These are pretty much your standard linesman pliers with a gripping portion at the tip and cutting edges above the pivoting rivet. Below the rivet is another set of gripping jaws. The second set of gripping jaws is what differentiates linesman pliers from combination pliers. This in turn makes them longer than combination pliers and therefore can cut larger materials due to increased leverage. If first impressions mean anything, then it's not looking good. First thing I notice is a buildup of some sort of black material on the lower set of jaws. You can also clearly see where something has pulled up and dried in one spot, just above these jaws. Just leisurely scraping some of it off, it definitely came off very easily and had much the consistency of paint applied to a poorly prepared surface. I'll get into a bit what I actually think this stuff is. Examining the rest of the pliers, the cross-hatching on the top surface looks really well done. I did also see quite a few gouges on a couple of the surfaces, something that I'm not used to seeing on NWS pliers. Not really a big deal, but not exactly conveying a strong sense of quality. The other thing I picked up from Irwin was this lanyard that is used with this particular style of pliers. I was surprised to see that this was made in China, since this clip was originally designed for NWS pliers. Irwin must have some sort of licensing deal that allows them to manufacture the product on their own. So it looks like Irwin now puts vice grip on everything they sell, including this lanyard. It works the same way as any other NWS handle accessory, sliding it on from the front to the back to secure it in place. After messing around with this clip for a bit, I can't say that I would ever recommend using it for any safety critical situation, because it does not contain a positive locking mechanism to keep it in place. It is only held in with friction. A couple of small bumps on the end of the pliers will loosen the clip enough that it could easily come off. If you really need to use tethered tools, then I would suggest using the loop already built into this handle, or get a tool with the loop molded into the handles directly. In terms of cutting performance, I put this through a couple of tests to see how the edges would hold up. I went ahead and threw the largest cable I had on hand, this 1/0 welding cable. I was not really impressed at all, as it didn't even appear to break the jacket on this cable. Just for comparison, I pulled out my Knipex Lineman pliers and I was able to get right through it. Just to make sure it wasn't a fluke, I went ahead and tried the Irwin pliers a second time, but got identical results. So what I think is going on here is sort of the phenomenon I saw when looking into chrome-plated pliers, in that the coating is causing the cutting edges to be more dull and blunt than a non-coated product would be. So I pulled out my NWS combination pliers, and I noticed immediately that the finish looked different on these two. The Irwin pliers are clearly much darker than the regular NWS pliers I have. I even cleaned the Irwin pliers to see if that would cause them to look any different, but I didn't observe any change. Doing a closer examination, I think I can see what's going on here. Looking at the edges closely, you can see that there are two distinct surface finishes that have started to wear away, even after just a few uses. What I think Irwin has done has added a layer of black paint to the metal surfaces as a rust preventative, instead of coating the pliers with a corrosion inhibitor that is normally done. Out of all the NWS pliers I've seen, even the rebranded ones, this is the first one I've gotten that has this type of finish. It is kind of unnerving to think that every time you use this, when you first get it, you're introducing foreign material to the pieces that you're cutting. I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of follow-up on this to see if all of the Irwin-branded NWS pliers have this finish, or was this possibly a bad batch. I'll also use this for a bit to see if the cutting edge returns after all this black stuff wears off. A final thing I want to note about these Irwin pliers are the handles. Even though I assume they are both made by NWS, the Irwin ones didn't feel as comfortable, and it took me a little bit to figure out why. I believe it is because this black rubber material extends further on the Irwin pliers than it does on the regular NWS handles. Can't exactly pinpoint why it feels better, but my guess is that because of the variation of materials on the regular NWS handles where you place your thumb, you have a better instinct of where your hands are in relation to the handles. There is one advantage to the Irwin branded pliers, is that it looks like NWS doesn't offer this exact style in their normal catalog. For $30 it's not a bad buy, but for the issues noted, your money would probably be better spent on a quality unit such as the Knipex pliers, which you can get for only about $10 more in this size. Now it could be I got a lemon that isn't representative of the average such unit, but I figure if I didn't buy this particular unit, then someone else would have and may have had the same issues from the observed ones here, so I can only review what I get. I'm going to see if I can find an efficient way to get the coating off these pliers to see if it changes my opinion on the performance. Don't get me wrong, these pliers will definitely get the job done, but there are alternatives out there which are far superior in my opinion. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that look at these Irwin-branded NWS Lineman pliers. Check out the link in the description below to the 4 of you. There are also some affiliate links in the description if you feel the urge to pick this unit up. Have a good week, and I'll catch you guys next time.